What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Survival Jeep. If you ain't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because this week is going to be a few-part video between this week and probably next week, depending on how long it takes me to get this project complete. What we're going to be doing is I have a set of full doors right over there that I'm about to show you. If you remember my Jeep with the camouflage wrap on it, back at the time I had the full doors on it with the wrap. Now that I'm running the half doors, I still have the wrap on, the camouflage wrap on those doors. So in this next video series called Full Door Restoration, we're going to get that old wrap off. We're going to probably sand down the doors, prime them, and I'm debated still if I want to go ahead and wrap line them as well to still keep with the Jeep, or I might decide that I don't need them and I'm probably going to sell them and put that money into the Jeep. So I'm still undecided about that, but you guys are going to come along on the way as I restore these doors. So without further ado, let me show you what we got going on here. So these are the doors we're going to be working with. Now, some of y'all might be wondering why I switched from the Raptor liner, from the wrap to the Raptor liner. And I'm going to show you a few things that happened to these wraps over some years. I had it on there for about 6 or 7 years. And as much as I love the camo, I hated to see it go. It just wasn't holding up the way I thought it would. So for example, you can see over here, it started to crack and peel. Like, you can't really notice it until you're up close, but it was enough to bother me enough to change it. It just starts cracking and peeling on a lot of edges. Now, it might have been because this is like, I wrapped this Jeep when vehicle wrapping first started taking place, so it might have been like not the best quality wrap, or it could have just been from sitting in the sun and all that stuff. But you could see the edges kind of bubbled up and started peeling. I had some rust spots coming through on the fenders of the Jeep. So if you think about wrapping it, just remember after a few years it's probably going to fade, probably going to crack, and you're going to have to redo it again. So these are the doors we're going to be working with. We're going to get all this wrap off, we're going to get this tan paint off, get them primed, and decide what I want to do with them from there. So what I'm going to be showing you today in this video is basically how to remove the camouflage wrap. I'm probably going to get into sanding and priming in the next video, but what I'm using is simply a heat gun from Harbor Freight. I think it was like 20 bucks. That's really all you need to remove the wrap, and I'm using a scraper. But I know the paint already under here is messed up, so I'm not really worried about preserving the paint since it's going to be sanding down the paint anyway. But if you're trying to remove something off your vehicle, you probably just use the heat gun and just slowly peel with your fingers. But this has been on here for a while, and the scraper just make it go by a lot faster. So let's go ahead and start getting this stuff removed. I just kind of start where it's been broken or peeling. You get it heated up, and then you might not even need the scraper. You kind of just get your hands under there and keep peeling it. And whatever you can get off, you could just take the scraper too. But most of the time you don't really need to use the scraper. I just have it in case I need to. But you can get a lot off with just that little bit of heat like you just saw. When it starts doing that, I usually just go ahead, start heating it again. The same thing when you apply vinyl to something, you can heat it to get it to form over certain edges. You can just keep heating as you go, but it tends to get real hot. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide how you want to do it. Once you get a big enough portion heated, you kind of keep the momentum until it does this. Now, I'm not saying this is the most professional way about doing it, but it's a way to get it done. This is how I do it. But as you can see, the vinyl wrap doesn't really damage the paint at all, no matter how long you have it on. I think I've had this wrap on here for almost 8 years. And the paint is still perfectly fine. I'm trying to remember if I had to do any body work to this other door. And if I did, that might be the only reason why I prime them if I decide to sell them. And then just make it easier for the next buyer to color match it, unless they have this color. But still haven't decided. I try to keep the section that I'm going to be peeling as a whole because it makes it easier. If you have 2 people, one person could just keep heating as you peel it. Some pieces might just be worn to the point where you don't even have to heat them. You can see I don't really have any edges to grab right now, so I'm going to reapply the heat, and it just came unplugged. And there's some rust here on the door, which actually is probably why that part of the vinyl started to crack, was because the rust was coming through it. There wasn't any rust there when I put it on, but as you can see, moisture can still get under the wraps and create rust. And I am shooting this video with the new camera that I posted on my channel last week. We'll see how the quality is once this video is done and uploaded to YouTube. Hopefully it's better than the phone camera. It's supposed to be, because the megapixels or whatever that it shoots in is better than the phone. So that's something we'll have to find out together. You can see where I did some body work before I wrapped it and primed it, and no rust came through on that side. I don't like to use too much heat around any of these window seals or anything, because they're pretty old to begin with. I don't want to destroy them any more than they already are. I mean, these are in pretty good condition, but I don't want to melt them or cause any cracking. In case you're wondering, this is what the color of the Jeep was for camel wrap, and then primer, and then wrap the liner. And if this is the first video you're seeing from the channel, you can go ahead and see a more in-depth video about how I wrapped align the Jeep. But if I end up deciding to keep these doors, then I'll probably show you how to actually wrap align it on video. So unfortunately, guys, I didn't realize that the camera cut off. You know, since it's a new camera, I'm not too familiar with the features, so I guess it stopped after 8 minutes and something seconds for that clip. But I got the rest of it off around the trim. I don't know if it caught or not, but as I was saying, it really does not affect the paint underneath whatsoever. So if you decide you want to wrap something, you'll know the paint's going to be fine underneath as long as you don't use anything rough to get it off. You really just need the heat gun. But that's the one door done. Now I'm going to get the second one done and show you guys both doors. Alrighty guys, I got the last bit of camouflage wrap off of this. I only filmed the one door for you guys because one door is the same as the other door. I wasn't going to waste y'all's time. But got it off here as well. As you can see, this is where I did some body work before I wrapped it because it was rusted. But I mean, it doesn't really mess with anything having a vinyl wrap on something. If that's something you want to do. This is proof that it ain't going to mark up your paint underneath. These how the doors looked when I wrapped them. I really did like this color on the Jeep. It was chili pepper red, I believe. Didn't see too many TJs with it, but the paint was just messed up in so many places and needed so much body work. After I fixed it, I decided to wrap it. Also, if you decide to wrap something, wrapping it's probably cheaper than painting, but just know it doesn't last as long. But the camouflage went good with my theme at the time. But now I like the wrapped aligner for the durability and the purpose that my Jeep's going to be serving. So I'm going to probably keep you guys updated on this. Alright guys, that about does it for today's video. The other door took about 5 minutes to get the vinyl off. As you can see, it's not hard to take vinyl wrap off something, and it doesn't really mess with the paint. But I'm going to add this to a playlist that's going to be called Jeep Door Restoration, and you can follow along as these doors progress. But now I'll probably post them up on Facebook Marketplace here in North Carolina, and if I get what I'm looking for to get for them, then I'll probably go ahead and sell them, just put that money back in the Jeep. But I'm not also in a rush to sell them either, so if no one buys them for the price I have them up, then I'll just go ahead and finish restoring them and put them in the garage for if I ever decide to run full doors. I have them, and you guys can see how the whole wrapped aligner goes along. But if this is the only video that's up there for a few weeks period, then that probably means I decided to not keep them. But I'll let you guys know in a future video about the doors and where they are. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you can see how it's pretty easy to get vinyl wrap off with a simple heat gun from Harbor Freight or wherever you want to get one. I just went to Harbor Freight because that was cheapest for them. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's get those subscribers up. And don't forget to go ahead and follow the Instagram and the TikTok channel for more updates about Jeep things, or if it's not too big to put on YouTube, it will probably be up there. And also to keep you updated about what's going on with the channel. I'll leave those linked below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for watching this week.